Tired of daydreaming about that perfect vacation you can't afford? Get ready to have an amazing time, learn how to travel on a budget and make your dreams come true. Traveling on a budget can seem like a daunting task, especially if you're used to the idea of splurging on luxury vacations. But the truth is, traveling on a budget doesn't have to mean sacrificing quality and adventure. In fact, more often than not, a tight budget can help you discover hidden gems and experiences you might otherwise have missed. With a bit of savvy planning and some clever hacks, you can have an amazing time without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for tips on how to travel on a budget and still have an amazing time, you've come to the right place. In this guide, we'll cover everything you need to know, from budgeting tips to money-saving hacks. We'll also discuss some of the most important things to keep in mind when traveling on a budget, as well as some interesting facts about budget travel. Budgeting tips. The first and most important step in learning how to travel on a budget is to create a budget. Start by determining how much you're willing to spend on your trip and then break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Prioritize where you want to spend your money and where you can save. For example, you may want to splurge on accommodations but save on food. Or, you may want to spend more on activities but less on transportation. Next, look for ways to save money on your trip. Consider the time of year you're traveling, as certain times can be more expensive than others. For example, peak travel season in Europe is typically during the summer months, while countries in Southeast Asia can be cheaper during their off-seasons. You can also save money by booking flights in advance and taking advantage of travel deals and discounts. Finally, keep track of your spending and make sure you don't go over your budget. One way to do this is to use a budgeting app, which can help you keep track of your expenses and make sure you don't overspend. Money-saving hacks. Once you've created a budget for your trip, it's time to start looking for ways to save money. Here are some of the best money-saving hacks for budget travelers. Use public transportation. Public transportation can be a great way to get around, especially in cities. Not only is it usually cheaper than taking a taxi or renting a car, but it can also give you a unique insight into the local culture and way of life. Take advantage of free activities. Many cities and towns offer free activities and attractions, such as walking tours, museums, and parks. Do some research before your trip to find out what activities you can do for free. Eat local. Eating out at restaurants can be expensive, especially if you're visiting a popular tourist destination. To save money, try to eat like a local. Look for street food vendors, markets, and local cafes that serve delicious and affordable food. Couch surf. Couch surfing is a great way to save money on accommodation. Not only will you get to stay in someone else's home for free, but you'll also get the chance to meet new people and learn about the local culture. Use a travel rewards credit card. If you're planning to use a credit card for your trip, consider using a travel rewards credit card. Many of these cards offer cash back, points, and other rewards that can help you save money. Just make sure to pay off your balance in full each month to avoid interest charges. Important things to keep in mind. When it comes to budget travel, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, make sure you have the right documents and visas for your trip. Different countries have different travel requirements, so make sure you do your research ahead of time so you don't run into any problems. Second, be mindful of exchange rates. When traveling abroad, exchange rates can have a big impact on how much you're spending. To avoid getting ripped off, do your research ahead of time so you know what the current exchange rate is. Finally, don't forget to factor in hidden costs. For example, if you're renting a car, make sure to account for gas and insurance. Or, if you're taking a train, make sure to factor in the cost of food and drinks. Interesting facts about budget travel. Budget travel is becoming increasingly popular, and for good reason. Here are some interesting facts about budget travel. According to a survey by Booking.com, 83% of global travelers think budget travel is more rewarding than traditional travel. Skyscanner found that the average traveler saves 35% by taking budget airlines. A survey by Hostelworld found that budget travelers are twice as likely to try new activities while traveling than traditional travelers. According to a survey by Booking.com, budget travelers are more likely to explore off-the-beaten-track destinations than traditional travelers. Conclusion: traveling on a budget doesn't have to mean sacrificing quality and adventure. With some savvy budgeting and money-saving hacks, you can have an amazing time without breaking the bank. Just remember to create a budget, prioritize where you want to spend your money, and factor in hidden costs. And don't forget to take advantage of free activities, eat like a local, and use public transportation. With a bit of planning and some clever hacks, you can have an amazing time while staying within your budget. Traveling on a budget doesn't mean you have to miss out on all the fun and adventure. Just take the case of Ali and his friends, who decided to take a budget trip to India. The group of 4 college friends had always wanted to visit India. They had heard stories about the country's rich and vibrant culture, amazing food, and incredible sights. But when they looked into the costs of traveling to India, they were dismayed. The flights alone cost more than they had budgeted for. The group decided to come up with a plan to make their trip to India possible on a budget. They decided to look for cheaper flights and accommodations. After some research and scouring the internet, they managed to find some great deals. The group flew to India and arrived in Chennai. They were amazed by the sights, smells, and sounds of the city. From there, they took a train to the southern city of Cochin. The train ride was an adventure in itself. They passed through beautiful countryside, small villages, and bustling cities. When they arrived in Cochin, they were amazed by the beauty of the city. The ancient buildings and winding streets were a sight to behold. They spent the next few days exploring the city, taking in the sights and sounds, and sampling the delicious food. The group then headed to the city of Trivandrum, where they stayed for a few days. In Trivandrum, they explored the ancient temples, wandered through the markets, and took in the beauty of the beaches. On their last day in India, the group took a train to the vibrant city of Mumbai. The city was a revelation. From the iconic gateway of India to the bustling markets and street food, the city had something for everyone. The group had a wonderful time exploring India on a budget. Despite their limited budget, they managed to have an amazing time and experience the best of the country. It just goes to show that you don't have to break the bank to have a great time. With a bit of savvy planning and some budget-friendly hacks, you can have an amazing time while traveling on a budget. If you're ready to start planning your next budget-friendly travel adventure, don't wait any longer. Take the first step today and start researching the best flight and hotel deals, as well as activities that won't break the bank. With a bit of planning and creativity, you can have an amazing time while still sticking to your budget. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and start exploring. Thanks for watching.